allow me to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, Chairman at AICTE. Hello, sir.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. The entire session and everyone in the audience is really eager and keen. All the academicians, all the industry leaders, all the participants, everyone is really keen on hearing what you have to say, how we will drive the entire education segment to a more research and innovation led setup. Please allow me to introduce Mr. Anand Sahai. He's the CEO of XGrad Global. Anand, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Anil.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Very, my honor to have you with us for the conference. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so Tanya, we'll go live now?
We are live.
Okay, perfect. Okay, all right.
So Anand, sir, I think you can start off with your keynote.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Anand. This wonderful opportunity to meet with stakeholders in an online mode. During COVID times, we have learned the trick of the trade of the trick, whatever you call it, and then we've all been in the online mode these days. Wonderful that this has given us a lot of new opportunities in terms of both innovation as well as in education, in terms of research. And I'm connecting all the three dots in some manner or the other. And the new national education policy also came into existence during this pandemic period itself. Of course, the groundwork by the Dr. Kasturi Rangan committee was going on for the last 3-4 years, but it was on the July 29th that the policy was approved by the cabinet and then announced to the public. There are many elements of both education, innovation, research, as well as industry connect, which are all to be done in the new policy in the next coming few years, so that India will reach its, whatever is capacity, potential, we need to achieve that. And that is the goal. And this particular webinar, where I'm speaking to students and faculty and also some of the industry experts, I will step back a little bit and talk about what we used to call as industry institute interaction. I will start from there and then come to education a little later. Industry institute interaction is a terminology in vogue, in use for at least 3-4 decades in our country. When I was a student, maybe 40 years ago also, we talked the same language, and it continued till about a decade ago as well. So there used to be a seminar, one-day effort of faculty members coming in auditorium, few people from industry coming in, discussing how we need to work together, and then forget about it. And subsequently, 1 or 2 decades later, in the last 2 decades, of course, every institution, especially engineering schools, management schools, they do have what is known as training and placement officer, training and placement office, where companies come during the time of recruitment and they pick up some good students and then give them the job opportunities. So except one seminar and the interview and then selection of candidates, Industry Institute used to only theoretically talk many things, but nothing was happening on the ground. But in the last 1 decade or so, there has been impetus on real-time Industry Institute, not interaction. I'm saying now two new words, collaboration began, and collaboration is gradually engaging now into partnerships as well. And these partnerships were available even in the high-level institutions like IITs, who had a program called Imprint and many other research activities where they had to have an industry partner. Without that, the project was not being funded by the ministry. So challenging problems of the society, of the government, people, that is whether it is water, whether it is transportation, whether it is environment, how these challenges can be addressed by taking some amount of money from the industry and some amount from the government and solve those challenges. I think that is the way forward, which started happening in the last 1 decade. And now, forget about IITs, at the lower level as well, we have made as AICTE mandated that all institutions must have an MOU with at least 5 institutions, 5 industries, organizations. Either they may be in the form of a startup, they may be a small scale, medium scale industry, it can be a large industry, but you must have collaboration with at least 5 of the institutions of your choice in the neighborhood, and thereby students get double, triple benefit. Number one, they will get internship opportunities. Real life problem solving, they will start doing it with the industry, number one. Number two, many challenging problems which the industry is facing, they may give it as project to the faculty and students, and they may solve that problem, which is win-win situation. The third one is automatically such good students, when the industry observes, they don't want to lose on them, and the natural corollary is that they will get absorbed, they will get jobs. In fact, pre-placement, without even going through the placement cycle. And if some of the industries want to set up some excellent state-of-the-art lab, industry can support. Industry can also support for what as scholarships for some of the deserving candidates who cannot afford fees. All those kind of interactions then start beginning to happen. And those interactions leading to collaborations and partnerships happen. So this is what is fundamental and very important that has to happen between industry and the institutions. And both have to move 2 steps forward. Now, this policy has multiple ways whereby this basic ethos is going to be helped actually in some different possible manners. One of them, which AICTE already started, was the constant revision of the curriculum. The curriculum once formed cannot be stagnant. It has to be continuously updated, maybe on almost annual basis. May not be the whole structure, but at least some part of the component of the courses has to be changed depending on what new technologies are emerging. For example, AI, IoT, machine learning, deep learning, robotics, 3D printing, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality, cloud computing, cyber security, data analytics. These are the domains which are across the board. It is not computer science or electronics oriented, but they are useful for civil engineers as much as chemical, mechanical, to tomorrow in the banking sector, insurance sector, even in commerce colleges or science colleges and arts colleges. And therefore, how this integration can happen, and one has to move forward in this domain. And that is why we have curriculum revision on one place, which is to happen regularly, where industry can chip in and say that this is what is going to be the future. Why can't you add it in the curriculum, at least as an elective to start with, if not a full course? And then gradually it becomes part of the life of the institution itself. And that is where industry can pitch in and help. Second part is these new courses, when they are brought in, our faculty themselves not trained in this, and therefore faculty development programs become significant. And through our AICTE's training and learning, ATAL, Atal Academies, we have started training faculty members. And I'm very happy during pandemic, thanks to technology, in the face-to-face mode in the last year, if we have only been able to train some 9,000 faculty members. In the pandemic's first 2 months, we trained 18,000, double of that. What we achieved in 1 year, we achieved in 2 months. And that confidence gave us that we should have more programs. Now we have rolled out as many as 1,000 programs and going to train more than 1.5 lakh faculty members. All this is appearing to be like magic. And faculty once trained in these new domains, and these workshops are not just half an hour, 1 hour, they are full 5-day programs, starting in the morning at 9 o'clock on the first day, that is Monday morning, and ending on Friday evening. And there are a lot of assignments, tests for the faculty members. So all new emerging areas, we are training faculty members. And this is very, very vital. Along with internship, I think we will be not only creating employable engineers and employable graduates, but we will create entrepreneurial engineers who will be able to create the startups and create jobs rather than seeking jobs. I think these all things were already happening in AICTE for the last 3 years. Now coming to the new education policy and the linkages which I was talking about, it talks about multidisciplinary universities. University is a melting pot of all variety of knowledge. Whatever comes from different segments, it has to be absorbed by the students. So maybe it is humanities and social sciences, maybe psychology, philosophy on one side, maybe law, medicine, pharmacy, architecture on the other side, to engineering, pure arts, pure commerce, science, physics, chemistry, math, biology. I think each one of them, we have divided them into disciplines from the convenience of taking up some kind of specialization. But knowledge is a continuum. It is a domain where anything and everything gets connected with each other. And all new innovations that are happening in the world around, They are not single discipline ones, and they do have content of all other variety of education content. You may have a satellite, a new satellite, a different variety of satellite will not only have electronics and computer science and mechanical engineering in it. You require a different type of material to be used. You require it to be used for some application where sociology and psychology will come into the picture. You will have biology in the picture because once it is put in place, there may be other effects from the solar radiation which will create some problems in the systems. So all variety of fields that are there in the knowledge, they will all have to be integrated. And therefore, whether it is a radio, whether it is a TV, whether it is a computer, whether it is an automotive today, automotive one time we were saying that it is a mechanical engineering object where you have gears, you have engine or petrol, you have a transmission system, braking system, all mechanical. But today, 90% of that is getting converted into electronics and computer science. Tomorrow, it is a computer on the wheels. And so all the changes that are happening have to be integrated. Therefore, multidisciplinary education is what is philosophy adopted in the new national education policy. Second part is many students come into different subjects for higher studies because of the pressure of the peers, because of their friends' pressure, because of the parents, because of the relatives. And then they find out that this is not their cup of tea. They are not suitable for this. And if they go out of the system after completing 1 year or 2 years out of the 4 years, they are having nothing in their hand. And the new policy talks about multiple exit in the form of providing whatever he has learned. Based on that, you please give him a certificate, please give him some finishing touches if required, make him useful to himself, his family, society, and give him a certificate or a diploma, if not a degree. Secondly, all that what he has achieved or learned can be kept in a bank, like a bank where currency is kept. You have academic bank of credits. The credits earned in one system of education or one university or one college can be kept in the academic bank of credits of an individual. And if he goes out to another college, another university in the same domain or other domain, how can he make use of some of that credit which he has already earned for getting a degree in another discipline? I think this is where multidisciplinary education, the exit at any point, entry into any point, anytime, anywhere in another institution, carrying the earlier credit which he has achieved to the new place and then making use of it and getting a degree. I think this is absolutely transformational. And probably nowhere in the world such a system exists, and we are creating a academic bank of credits, a robust platform where everything that one learns will be credited and it will be in your account. Next part is, as I said, innovation is important. All of this is nothing but innovation. The policy itself is innovative. And then support for innovation. AICTE, along with Ministry of HRD then and now Ministry of Education, we have an innovation cell in AICTE which conducts continuous programs on innovation, whether it is Smart India hackathons, whether it is IICs, that is innovation councils in the college level, whether it is in terms of some kind of competitions other than even hackathons. All of that is catapulting India into a stage of innovation where Indian ranking is improving. We were 81st position about 5 years ago. Today, our rank is 48, but our potential is in the top 10. Whether it is even at the school level, tinkering labs created by Atal Tinkering Labs from the Niti Aayog, about 5,000 schools. If students at that age start becoming innovative, when they come to college, they will do phenomenal actions. And that is what is envisaged in this new policy. When it comes to the last part, that is research, which is also fundamental, important. And unless you do frontline research, which is highly applicable, not only useful to industry and the society and the government, that research will remain in almirahs. And therefore, the research which is useful research is to be done in collaboration with industry, in collaboration with other institutions, because there is an expertise which is available in different institutions, and that collaboration is important. If you do it alone, we may reach some height, but if you are collaborating with others, you will reach the double the height. And that's why to get such funding, it is not only industry support, even other academic institutions coming together and then doing the research is important. And earlier, there were multiple agencies supporting for research, and therefore, our entire system of funding for research used to be minuscule. each organization like Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, UGC, AICTE, MHRD, BRNS, all of these agencies had a limited kitty. And if the project required a huge sum to satisfy as many institutions as possible, they were not in a position to continue with that full amount to be provided, and therefore the results which were required to be achieved or the outcomes to be achieved were not possible. Now, in the new policy, what is known as National Research Foundation, which is headed by none other than the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, actually directly Prime Minister's office with huge funding, making it available for doing research not only in science and technology, but also in humanities, social sciences, and in any other domain. I think the spirit of the new education policy is multidisciplinary, robust program supporting innovation and research, a strong connect between industry and the academia so that useful products will come out of that, strong support for innovation so that newer technologies which are coming out of the research have to find place in the society in the form of various new products and processes. And in the last, we should also become Atmanirbhar, which Government of India, Prime Minister Modi ji is all the time now talking about Atmanirbharta. But if you look at his earlier various types of promotions which he did, right from Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Digital India, whether it is Make in India, whether it is smart cities, whether it is Make in India to Startup India to now Atmanirbhar Bharat, in all variety of products and processes, rather than importing several things, we have been advocating conduct of several hackathons, specialized hackathons, whereby our industry in India will get the robust information about new products which they can implement. Now, example is that of Toy Hackathon. It's a 1.25 billion Indian industry, of which 80 to 90% comes from abroad. And there are a huge number of opportunities possible from tribal areas to the cities, from rural areas to remotest places in the mountains, whether it is in Himalayas like Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, or northeastern states. That talent can be explored by giving them some small support and input in the form of gadgets like electronics and mechanical engineering. The existing tribal art and culture can be depicted in the form of wonderful toys. And not only we serve our own country by Atmanirbharta, but possibly we will be able to provide the worldwide, because some of our stories like Mahabharata, Ramayana are very interesting, and we can submit to the whole world some of the toys, which is a $100 billion industry. So I think new education policy connects all of these dots, and that's why future of India, the Naya Bharat, New Bharat, is in the making. And if all of us put in our hard work efforts, we will achieve that goal. Thank you very much.